This is Fong featuring Dynasty Warriors 2 Easter eggs. If you watched my review or played the game, then you know that story was never a top priority. Though that's not a criticism of the game, after all it can have been easy adapting a 4-volume novel into an arcade beat-em-up. That said, there are a number of nods to Romance of the Three Kingdoms that might only stand out to those who are familiar with the story. Let's start with the character roster. The generals available for Shu include Zhao Yun, Zhang Fei, and Guan Yu. Being the campaign unlocks 3 new playable characters, 2 of which are Huang Zhong and Mao Cao. These 5 generals are given the title the 5 Tiger Generals by the Emperor of Shu. This is probably the reason why they were selected to be playable characters among the many other officers of Shu. Going back to the character roster, you might notice that the only female character available in campaign mode is Sun Shang Zhang, who I'll be referring to here on out as Lady Sun. She's one of the very few women in the novel that was trained in combat, though she never actually participated in any of the battles. She's also the only character in the game to have female bodyguards. Even Dian Shan, the only other playable lady, has generic male bodyguards. This is because in the novel, Lady Sun was said to have many female bodyguards, each armed with a sword. This was quite worrying for her then husband Liu Bei. Since I briefly mentioned Dian Shan, let's look into her backstory. She was the concubine of the tyrant Duang Zhuo, who had been keeping the emperor hostage. In a ploy to dethrone Duang Zhuo, Dian Shan's stepfather Wang Yun gave her the task of leading Liu Bu to betray his lord. All this is hinted at in-game. When Dian Shan is defeated in battle, she tells you to do the same to Duang Zhuo, revealing her true intentions. A similar thing happens to Sima Yi, who mentions an impossible dream, which seems to be referencing his creation of the Jin dynasty, which would eventually put an end to the Three Kingdoms era. After Zhuge Liang dies, a second cutscene appears showing a falling star. All those that witnessed it knew that it signified his death. In the very same level, he also orders a unit of crossbowmen, as it was believed that he invented the repeating crossbow. You might have noticed a brightly red horse running across the map, and if you're like me, you won't hesitate to get it. It was called the Red Hare, spelled H-A-R-E, not to be confused with the other type of hare. It was a gift to Liu Bu in order to shift his alliance to Duang Zhuo, and was later gifted to Guan Yu by Cao Cao for similar purposes. Anyway, let's move on to the weapons. Some characters share generic weapons and movesets, while others have their own unique weapons. As mentioned in the book, Zhang Fei wields an 18-span spear, and Guan Yu has his Crescent Moon Dragon. Though it is a shame that their sworn brother Liu Bei doesn't use twin swords, odd considering Liu Shun does. Dian Wei stands out the most when it comes to weapon and moveset accuracy. His weapon is a large axe which he can throw around, and outside of it being useful, it's also a nod to the story. There's a scene in Romance of the Three Kingdoms where Dian Wei allows Cao Cao to retreat by throwing axes at the oncoming enemies. Not only do they give him the right weapons, they also gave him the right attacks. The Battle of Shangban is one of the most notable events from the novel, and as a result, the level has a few hidden Easter eggs. First off, there's a box in the middle of the village that hides a baby in it, and picking him up will reward you with extra points. I know that might seem a bit strange to anyone who hasn't read the novel, but trust me, it happens. You see, that's not just any baby, that's Liu Shan, the future emperor of Shu, and he was hidden by his mother when Wei invaded. Zhao Yun rescues the baby as he fights off pursuing soldiers. This is all shown off in the opening FMV. Another event that happens directly after Zhao Yun rescues Lian Shan is his acquisition of the sword known as the Black Pommel. When Cao Cao's reinforcements arrive, one of his generals, whose name I won't even attempt to pronounce, appears. If you defeat this general, then he'll drop a sword which will grant plus 10 attack points. Aside from being an awesome Easter egg, it's also an easy way to farm attack upgrades. This leads to the next secret. Once all the Shu forces retreat past the bridge, a special event can occur if Zhang Fei is still alive. In the cutscene, Zhang Fei challenges anyone who is willing to fight him. The story goes a bit farther, where he actually destroys the bridge. In the original Dynasty Warriors, he even has an attack that imitates the scene. Too bad it didn't get carried over to the other games. On the other hand, Shu Zu borrows a few attacks from the first game, most notably his aerial ground pound and his Musou attack, which appears in the opening FMV. Please tell me what you thought about this video, and if I missed any other secrets, then don't hesitate to tell me in the comments. If you're interested, then feel free to watch my emulator review of Dynasty Warriors 2 where I review the game on PCSX2. Crazy, I know. Anyway, thanks for watching and subscribe if you'd like to see more.